Hello everybody, it is I, Utakul, back again, and today I'm going to be reviewing Steve Hearsell from the Florida 500 series. This guy was originally planned for 2018, but got delayed to about a year later, now made in Thailand. Steve Hearsell is a car I've been wanting for a while. Back in 2024, I got Randy. He was a hearse from Cars on the Road, and I really ended up not liking him as much as I thought I would. So I really wanted the original Cars hearse, that being, of course, Steve Hearsell from 2019. Steve Hearsell's also pretty notable because of a friend of mine, T-Tour Review Ty. In his series, Steve Hearsell is just amazing. I don't want to go into it, but just search him up on Ty's channel. You'll be able to find him. Steve Hearsell is just iconic. Love him. The Florida 500 series was dedicated mostly to race fans and stuff. I believe Next Gens were a separate series. I looked it up before reviewing. Over here on the front is the card art here. Steve Hearsell actually marks something pretty interesting for me, which is this is the first 2019 card back diecast I own. Well, 2018 to 2019. I have a couple cars from 2019, but they're all re-releases. Steve Hearsell is the only one that hasn't been re-released. Hopefully he does come back soon. Over here on the front, of course, is his artwork here. Pretty small. I also wanted to check if it was similar to Randy's, since Randy, is a hearse as well. So I don't know if they, edited it to be. Let's see here. The mouth is definitely different. No, the lighting is different. They're very similar poses, but they do look different enough to where I don't think they're just the exact same render, which is pretty nice. I think I'm one of the few people who has Randy before Steve Hearsell. I don't know if that's common. I know Steve Hearsell isn't the most expensive diecast ever, but he's certainly close. Right? Steve Hearsell being a hearse makes him pretty desirable. He's such an insane release. Here he is. There's his name tag. This era used the same style name tag as Cars 3. I didn't bring out my Cars 3 name tags, but I have a couple. Here's the generic Cars logo. Back in 2017, when it was just Cars 3, there was no card art. It was just this, but the Cars 3 logo instead. So, pretty interesting. Over here on the back, it says, it's the opening race of the Piston Cup season. Who will take home the championship? Since that's the concept of the Florida 500s, it's the start of the season. Over here, we got Keel Motorway, Cars 3 Bob Cutlass, Fabulous McQueen, who I do have, and Mater with 95 hat, who's actually coming back for 2026, which is crazy to think about because he's not even in the movie. I'm really excited to see what they do with him. I'm not sure if they're going to change his mold since he uses the updated Mater mold. We'll see. Over here on the back, he has a 2019 copyright date, made in Thailand. There's the barcode. Disney Pixar car Mini. Oh, for Mini Cooper. I was wondering, what does the Mini stand for? Mini Cooper, although her prototype image doesn't have the Mini Cooper, thing. There's a logo on the hood, right? That says Mini Cooper. It's not there. Weird. Each sold separately, subject to availability. Yep. Luckily, most of these guys are actually pretty common. I think Steve Hearsell is the rarest of the Florida 500 diecasts, unless you count Matty McGear, who's weirdly expensive now. So crazy that I finally have Steve Hearsell. All right, I'm going to just open him up. It's a little sad though, because this is my only 2019 card, but I bought him in box, so got to do it. Sorry about that. Before I take a look at Steve Hearsell, I want to quickly just go over my thoughts, my initial thoughts, that is, of the 2019 card back. A lot of people don't like this card back, from what I've heard. Their main complaint is that the card art is really small, which, yeah, when you look at it from this distance, if you look at it just, regularly, yeah, the card art does look pretty small. Cars logo, I think, does take up a little bit too much space. I think in theory, this is a cool concept. It's like the Cars 3 Because I do like this little red bit at the top. It sort of makes this stick out. And I like the nice little series. I miss series so much. I like how it's just like one huge stripe over here. It looks really good. So yeah, it does have some value. I've seen 2019 card backs before. I believe we bought a Cruz and Jackson to give away back in the day. But yeah. I do like the card back here. I believe this is just that one stock image of Willie's Butte from Cars 1 where Doc's about to drive. But they just edited a road onto it. So yeah. Overall, this card back isn't the best style-wise, but it gets the job done. I think the later iterations of this sort of side road, like 2020 and 2021, do the concept better, though. I do like how natural the lighting is, though. Like, Cars, like, 2021 has a much more, like morning vibe. This one has a sunset vibe, which looks really good. That's the main highlight of this card back. Anyways, card back time over. Steve Hearsell time, baby. Wow, he looks beautiful. Wait, one more thing. Here's his blister. And then here is his name tag compared to a Cars 3 name tag. Yeah, pretty much identical. If you really wanted to, you could take this card back. Like, if I get another 2013 single, like 2017 single, I mean, I could theoretically, like, make it look like Steve Hearsell was released in 2017. Because it's that similar. So weird coming off of Cars 3. Anyways, here he is. He looks absolutely beautiful. Alright, let's start off with the front here. He has a nice happy smile. In case you don't know where Steve Hearsell appears in the movie, he appears after Cruz begins to leave the Florida 500 race because Sterling called her off to go train Ronald, I think it was, yeah. So, yeah. He only appears from the back, so they kind of just had to make up what he looks like. Fun fact about Steve Hearsell, he's named after Steve Purcell, who, based on an audio commentary from Mater and the Ghostlight I found, is actually a really big fan of monsters. So him getting the hearse as the car he's named after is pretty cool. Or, you know, getting a hearse named after him, I meant. Sorry about that. Steve has a nice, just glossy black paint. Very, you know, just classy. He has a smile. He has nice silver rims. Thailand sometimes struggles with detailed silver rims, and I do think that they do have a bit of a foil falling off thing, kind of like Flo. But, you know, it does the job. Here's his side. It's so crazy to me they made this guy at all just like a random hearse. Just, like, they didn't have to. And the fact that he came so, like, close after Cars 3. This guy came out, just for the record, he came out before, like, Sweet Tea or, like, most of the Legends racers, I think. Like, we only had, like, a couple in 2018 and 2019. We didn't even, like, I don't know, so. Yeah, Steve is a pretty crazy one they made really early on. Over here is the back. He has his nice black fins here. You can see how reflective he is. I'm really afraid to touch him because, of course, black paint and fingerprints, they don't go very well. Over here on the back, he has his iconic Grim Grin license plate, a reference to Grim Grinning Ghosts, the main theme of the Haunted Mansion. He has nice silver detailing. He's a bit loose. He has a bit of suspension, I guess, is the best way to describe it. He's like, he can rock back and forth. That's pretty cool. He can, like, jam out. He has his mirrors here. Here's the front again. I like his expression. And I'm going to turn him over just to show the base. He was L50A. So that's like 50th week of 2019. Made in Thailand. He was in cases E and F. So only 2 cases, which is pretty crazy. I really do hope Steve Hearsell comes back again. He is such a cool diecast. And, more people should have him. Technically, he did come back in 2021. I'm sure you all know who I'm referring to. I'm going to quickly put the camera down and get Randy out of his box so that I can just, compare him since he's the direct descendant of Steve Hearsell. Both made in Thailand. All right. A lot of people complained about the fact that Randy was a very clear reuse of Steve Hearsell, and I want to see how true that is, because I compare them in the package, and they do seem to have a little bit of a difference. Let's start off with the front. He has a bit of a less angular sort of grill here. His mouth, I believe, is the main thing that's similar. Yeah, it was reused. That's the main reason people didn't like Randy, is the mouth being reused kind of made his expression look weird. He has a bit of a messier paint job. You can see the rivets on Steve Hearsell and Randy just because of how low to the ground they are. They're very thin cars, or like flat, I should say. Over here, based on the sides. The main thing with Randy is that he has a bit of a dirtier sort of look. He has more silver on him than Steve. This part here is just a thin silver line, whereas this is a thick silver line. Goes around to the bumper. Look at that. Yeah. Randy's a lot filthier since he's, of course, out in the rain and stuff. Steve Hearsell's just a race man. It's kind of funny to think about. This guy's in the same vein as Timothy Two-Stroke. Back, I believe, is the same. Just iconic back here. A lot of people made jokes about Steve Hearsell because he's a hearse. And in case you don't know what a hearse is a car that carries people that aren't exactly in the realm of the living anymore. So a lot of people joke, what is Steve Hearsell's purpose in the Cars universe? It's on the same level as buses and taxis, and they're all designed to carry humans. I assume Steve is like a mortician or something, like he just works at a facility that deals with dead people or something. Wouldn't it be funny if he was like a priest? Right? Like, could you just imagine going to like your church, like, or synagogue or whatever, like, place of worship you have, and then like in the Cars universe, you just see Steve Hearsell giving a sermon, lecture and all that. My channel recently got marked as for kids, I think, or I got a message about the whole AI, restricted mode thing. And so, yeah, I'm really bummed about that. I wonder if me talking about a car that carries unalive people is going to change their minds on that. I'm not sure, honestly. Maybe. Maybe not. So, yeah, just... if this video doesn't get marked for kids, just shout out that fact that that's not supposed to happen. The main difference between Randy and Steve is the fact that Randy is all metal, whereas Steve's cap here is a plastic piece. You can tell based on, the sound and the general look of it. I think Randy is definitely a really disappointing diecast. Steve Hearsell is way cooler, so really happy to finally have him. A couple other cars I want to compare him to are other Cadillacs, because I read on the Cars Wiki that he resembles a Cadillac. Most specifically, he resembles Mario Andretti, I believe it is, because of the headlights. And it's like, yeah, you can sort of see that. Yeah. Here's Tex Dynaco, another Cadillac, the first Cadillac ever introduced. Iconic. Here is Mel Dorado. He is also Cadillac, with the actual Cadillac hood ornament there. I don't think Tex has it in the movie, so that's why it's only on him. Very interesting. Of course, he has a little hood ornament as well. Very cute. Very cute. One more car I wanted to compare to Steve because it's so fitting. In 2022, we got our first new on-the-road character that wasn't just a variant of McQueen or Mater. Or in Mater's case, just a re-release. The Speed Demon. The Speed Demon is from Salt Fever, and she's very similar in style to Steve Hearsell here. Kind of. Now, on the video, she looks like the same color as Steve, but actually, in person, she's more of a very dark green. I don't know why they made her a dark green, but she is. She also has silver, like sort of gray on the sides here. They're very similar vibes-wise. Of course, this video is coming out in October. I got Steve Hearsell, hoping that I'd get to review him before Halloween, or maybe on Halloween if he arrived. So, kind of cool that I got to do that. He came to about $30, which I wish I could have gotten him lower, but you know what? What's done is done. And honestly, I don't think it was not worth it. He's pretty cool. Love Steve Hearsell. Please come back, Steve. Please, Mattel, bring back Steve. He's cool. Come on. Bring back just generic background cars. A lot of the Cars 3 just generic background characters are really rare now. It's crazy. See again. Sort of. I bet Steve would look really cool if he had plastic chrome instead of just generic flat gray. Maybe I'll do like an edit of that, or if I ever, like on the off chance I ever get a duplicate of Steve Hearsell, like on the off chance Mattel re-releases him, ideally in a 2-pack with Keel Motorray, since both of them are seen driving together, I would love to give him just a nice chrome finish, because I bet that would look just excellent. Moving her back. Anyways, that's all I have on Steve Hearsell. A really cool car. Just so awesome. So happy to finally have him. His eye printing is a little off, but you know what? So cool. I don't mind. Maybe one day I'll get his 2021 variant. If you guys know, you know. And check out my friend Toy Reviews Ty's new movie coming out. He announced it recently. Multiversal Madness. Multiversal Dash, sorry. I think of Marvel. Yeah, I hope you guys check that out. And I shall see you all around. Bye-bye!